Hey friends, welcome back to the Guitar Max channel. Today I'm going to check out a new guitar that has one of the most unique pickup arrangements that I've ever seen. And this is one situation where there's a lot more than meets the eye. Okay guys, so this is the Bootlegger Guitars Cognac model. It's a new model and it has a few amazing tricks up its sleeve. Now I've talked about Bootlegger guitars before. I think this is maybe my fourth or fifth video over the years. And one thing that I always really like about this company is they're not just trying to do the same things that everybody else is. They really are determined to follow their own path, and I think a lot of people like them because of that. And this guitar really drives that point home. Now let's go over the specs, and I'll start out with the basic stuff, and then you'll see what I mean here about it being a unique guitar. So to start with, the body is basswood. It's a bolt-on maple neck, beautiful dark ebony fretboard, 24 medium jumbo frets. These are standard nickel steel frets. Now on the back, it's got a really nice recessed neck joint, which I love. Kind of reminds me of the old Washburn guitars. And then up here, we've got Grover tuners. Down here on this end, it's got a stop bar tailpiece, which is different than you would typically find on a body style like this. And then when we get to the pickups and electronics, that's where things get really interesting. So we've got a full set of USA EMG pickups. But what you don't see is that there's a fourth pickup, a piezo pickup, like you'd find on an acoustic guitar underneath the bridge. And that alone is really cool, but what's really cool about it is that this final knob down here is a blend knob. So you can use just the piezo by itself if you roll it all the way sort of off, like you're turning off the main pickups, or you can blend it. There's a really beautiful middle position sound that you'll hear in a second, or you turn it all the way up and then it turns off the piezo and you just get the full sound of the standard pickups. In addition to that, it even has coil splitting on the humbucker pickups. Having the piezo in there gives this guitar some really unique tones that you can't really get with other guitars. Let me give you a quick example of what I'm talking about. Now I said earlier it's a piezo pickup like an acoustic guitar or an acoustic electric, but it doesn't sound like an acoustic guitar, of course. It really has its own unique sound, but very bright and very articulate, and it's just different than everything else. But if you don't want to use that, you just roll this knob off, and then you've got the full-on tone of the modern EMG pickups. Now, build quality-wise, this is a really, really well-made guitar. This is manufactured in South Korea, although Bootlegger Guitar is based right here in California. But so in terms of the price, it's $12.99, right? So $12.99 and it's South Korean made. So I would compare this in terms of the manufacturing to like the higher end Schecter guitars. It's very well done. I should also mention that that $12.99 price includes a hard case, not a generic one, but a nice Bootlegger Guitars hard case. Okay, now there's some more features that I want to talk about, like the weight and some things about the neck that I really like, but let's go ahead and get into the sound demo so you can hear more of the different tones that you can get out of this guitar. Now, I'm going to have this plugged into my Boss IR200 amp and cabinet simulator. That's about a $400 piece of equipment, so I'm not using any super expensive studio gear to make this guitar sound better than it is or anything like that. So we'll go ahead and listen to it, but of course, real quick guys, as always, if you enjoy videos like this, checking out cool new guitars, and staying up on all the latest news in the guitar universe, and you have not already subscribed, please consider subscribing right now. Okay, let's go ahead and plug this back in and listen to how it sounds. Okay guys, so you heard some of the tones there that we can get out of this guitar, and like I mentioned earlier, it sounds great, with these the USA EMG pickups, the hum single hum arrangement. You already have a nice variety of tones. It's a 5-way switch down here, but when you throw in not only the coil splitting, but the piezo pickup and the ability to blend it with the other pickups, it opens up a whole new world of sounds. And the thing is, the blend knob works in every pickup position, right? So you can be blending it, you set this here and then you activate the blend knob, and now you're blending the neck pickup and the piezo, or blend it with the bridge pickup or the middle, whatever you want to do. Or if you have this thing rolled all the way to the piezo end of it, then you're not hearing any of these pickups, only the piezo. Now myself, I like that blended kind of middle position, and there's actually a detent right there. You can feel it reach the middle. To me, that's one of the best sounds that you can get out of this guitar. That sound, and then also this neck pickup, especially for the shred stuff, is fantastic. I think what I like so much about the blended stuff is it gives you this very organic, kind of stratty, bluesy articulation. You can really hear a lot of the nuances in your fretting hand and the way you're picking and all that stuff, but it still gives you a lot of power because you're combining that piezo, which picks up all those little details. You're combining that with the main pickups, and so you get a nice, full, robust sound while still getting all of those nuances. To me, this would be an excellent studio guitar, or if you're going into a situation where you're going to have to be able to produce a variety of different tones, maybe you don't know exactly what kind of tone you need to create when you're going in, you take this guitar with you and you can make just about any tone you could possibly want. And the other thing that goes right with that is with the stop bar tailpiece and the Grover tuners and this really well done nut up here, this thing stays just dead in tune. Very easy to change tunings, you know, great for bending and that kind of stuff because you don't have any springs to worry about changing the string tension, that kind of stuff. It's a very reliable guitar, but also a guitar that can get you a huge variety of different tones. I think that's what it really comes down to. Okay, there's a couple other things. The weight of the guitar, it's right about 7 pounds. I weighed this one, it was almost dead on 7 pounds. And that's a pretty nice weight, especially for a guitar that's got, you know, a full set of pickups and all this stuff in here and the ebony fretboard. That's a little bit of a denser wood, it adds a little bit of weight. So a good comfortable weight. The other thing is the whole guitar has a satin finish on it, which number one, photographs very well, lucky for me, but the other thing is it makes the neck really, really smooth, really comfortable. So it's got these interesting little note here. It has, to me, what looks like these rounded ball fret ends, although these are not the same frets that we're seeing on some of these other import guitars. I can tell from the tang is just slightly visible, and they reach the full width of the fretboard instead of being a little bit short like some of those other companies do. But really nicely finished frets, smooth ebony fretboard, a satin finish on the back of the neck, and it's a nice, like a kind of a slim C-shaped neck. So overall, the neck is super comfortable. So the Cognac from Bootlegger Guitars, again, this is another guitar that they've added to their lineup, which is just a little bit different than everything else. That's really, I think, the way Bootlegger distinguishes themselves from other companies is with their design choices and the particular features that they choose to put in the guitars. This was a guitar that, as I'm playing it, you know, I'm going through and I'm messing with these tone knobs and everything, and it's a guitar that kind of adds to your creativity because you're getting to use tones that you wouldn't normally be using. And I just was playing this guitar and I kept saying, like, wow, that's a cool sound, or wow, how did this guitar make that sound? It was just a guitar that kind of like, it's very refreshing and it surprises you a lot as you're exploring it. And I really like that. It's inspiring. Okay guys, but let me know what you think of this down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of the sound of it and also the look of it. I like this kind of satin finish on the ebony top. It's not ebony wood, it's just the color, right? But then it's the exposed basswood here, and they kind of have the same thing going on the headstock. It's a cool looking guitar. The other thing that I should mention is a while back I did a video checking out the Bootlegger Guitars Lounge, which is like their store. They've now moved to a different location, and from what I understand, it's even bigger and better. So be on the lookout in the future for a new shop tour, you know, a new store tour for Bootlegger Guitars coming soon. Okay guys, that is it for this video. As usual, I'm going to have links for everything I was talking about down in the video description below. I'll have a link for the guitar, for the Boss IR200 unit, plus all of my social media, my YouTube course, all that stuff in the video description. Guys, thanks a ton for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you very soon.